Are testing? Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I might figure this out eventually. Welcome, everybody. This is the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. And wow, we do have reports that Vladimir Putin is very, very ill. Now, I know there's a lot of times there's propaganda. Both the West does it, so does the East. There's propaganda everywhere. But we are getting reports that something seriously is wrong because of three major canceled appointments that Putin never does. And he canceled all in the month of December. Okay. The sugar's in here with me. Right, Sugar? So let's do this. Quick shout out for www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. Guys, this is amazing. The keto powder, there's nothing like it. First of all, it's ageless. It's tasteless, it's odorless. You'll become ageless. There's something about its ability to take the key ingredients from the keto diet, apply it into a powder form that you can put in a smoothie every morning to help kickstart, raise those ketone levels in your body and kickstart that metabolism to help you in your efforts to try to lose weight and to maintain a healthy, healthy levels of ketone. Now, the ketone diet, my daughter-in-law here in North Carolina, she keeps it, she does it. It's amazing, but I can't stand it. I mean, the food you have to eat, the combinations, just no, it don't work for me. So, but what if I can take the good ingredients of it and put it in the powder into a powder form, and then use that as a supplement to fire up the metabolism and help in your really help you in your weight loss efforts, and then to use some other approaches to help you by curbing your appetite, slowing down, cutting back, getting involved again. And it's a miracle. I've lost 30 pounds. It takes a lot of discipline, but it helps to have some way to help kickstart, get you going. Go to www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. It's time to start this next year and not just make a resolution right down on paper and forget about it before the end of January. I mean, actually do an action move right now and get some of this keto powder. Go to www.ketowithpaul.com. That's www.ketowithpaul.com. You'll be glad that you did this. You really will. All right, now, Vladimir Putin. We do have some very big information on this, guys. Cancer stricken. That's one of the things that's being thrown around. Is Vladimir Putin there's some reports he's being kept alive by invasive, aggressive attempts by foreign doctors to help keep the 70-year-old tyrant, to keep him alive. He is critically ill. And according to Valerie Sloveny, he is being kept alive with advanced treatments. Rumors have persisted about Vladimir Putin's health. Here's a picture of him here when he has his face very swollen and very puffy. He was also seen clenching the edges of the desk in pain. There's been different things. They say Putin has. They say they say reports are that he has already, certainly the beginning. He's having serious symptoms with Parkinson's from a lot of the medications he's had to take. Reports he has stomach cancer. Also reports that his hands have been turning purple and the bloatedness. And then recently, President Putin took a major fall at his presidential offices, where he fell down a flight of stairs and soiled himself and injured himself in that fall. This bombshell document was released by spies from within the Kremlin that said that it appears, and they're confirming that Putin does have early stage Parkinson's disease and pancreatic cancer after months of rumors, which is also affecting, of course, his stomach. Now, if he has stomach cancer, that's another whole level, but pancreatic cancer is not good at all. Okay, it really isn't. Also, they say, according to Sloveni, he also alleges that Putin initially was suffering colon cancer, and that's been operated on, and it's also being treated, but that this cancer has now spread to his pancreas and is more dangerous now than ever. The medications that have led, so much medications has now led to early symptoms of Parkinson's disease. He has the trembles and things, and he has quite serious medical problems, according to Sloveni. He is the insider, the spy who's released this report, who alleges that Putin is kept alive by treatments from non-Russian doctors. We can say that without these treatments, he would definitely not have been in public life as he has been in the last 2 years. This is absolutely certain, according to Sloveni. He did not say where the doctors allegedly were from or which doctors, which nations were treating Putin. But Sloveni, who's speaking to the Ukrainian YouTube channel, claimed that Putin is being given advanced treatments. Russia cannot provide him with these types of treatments. These have to come from foreign sources. But he alleged that despite the treatments, the end is already in sight, even according to doctors who are curating his treatment, because no medication can be endlessly successful. The recent cancellation of a trip to visit a major tank plant might have related to the health issues, according to Sloveni. Usually, when trips are canceled, there are two factors at play: either matters of his health or his safety. But we know one thing: no official reason for this cancellation was ever given by the Kremlin. And it comes after he canceled his State of the Nation address that he does every year. And he just now canceled his annual hockey game that he always plays every year at the end of the year. And then he has canceled his end of the year press conference. So 3 major events that Putin has never canceled in history: his end of the year press conference, his end of the year State of the Nation address, and his end of the year charity amateur hockey game, in which he usually scores 6 or 7 goals and comes off as the MVP every time. He didn't do any of these 3. Putin's condition has been subject of feverish speculation in Russia, with him appearing very twitchy and very unsteady on his feet and out of breath in short walks on occasion. Putin has been seen clutching a thick blanket earlier this year while he was watching a parade, and was seen swaying and slurring as he spoke with a glass of champagne. Some could say he was maybe intoxicated, but they say no, he wasn't. And also, this latest fall he took in his official residence, a presidential office of his official residence, in which he soiled himself. In the past few months, Putin has been pictured with suspected track marks from IV treatments on the back of his hands, amid rumors that he has been suffering from other forms of cancer as well. And while troubling footage showed that the Russian leader clutching his chair with a claw-like grip, while his feet constantly twitching during a talk in September, showed that he was in intense pain. The sight was quickly repeated just days ago during a meeting that he held with the president of Kazakhstan, in which once again he was seen clutching and twitching his feet, and his hands were purple. Putin has been warned he could face an internal uprising unless he manages to achieve something in Ukraine. It follows claims by senior Ukrainian figures that Putin fears he will be killed if he loses the war in Ukraine, and so he's fighting now for his life. These are just some of the reports that we're getting out of Russia. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt, because there's been so much propaganda on both sides: the West propaganda against Putin, and Russian propaganda propping up Putin and propping up the war efforts. And of course, so there's been so much. We can go all the way back to the days that Trump was elected president 6 years ago. How much was being used of the Russian collusion and interference, and the Russian collusion and confusion and delusion, and ultimately, you know, the national security advisor was fired, General Michael Flynn, on false lies and rumors. The Mueller report on the whole Russian thing turned out to be a hoax. It was a failure, a flop. There was nothing to see there. The dossier was a fake dossier that had been paid for by the Clinton administration. And Christopher Steele, the former British spy who was paid $1 million to come up with the dossier. All of it was fake. All of it was a fraud. All of it was a Russian hoax. So we know how the American press can use Russia and use propaganda against Russia to further its own agenda. We've seen this in 2016, 2017, 2018, and on and on and on. And we've seen it now as the Biden administration is going forward with this war. And you might say that Biden's not involved in the war, but he certainly is. We are right in the middle of this thing, using the Ukrainians as our fighting force. We're totally supplying them in conjunction with NATO. There's a war going on, folks, between Russia and NATO. There's no question. And that is heating up more and more and more. So, having said that, it doesn't shock me that the media propaganda could be to position Putin as Mad Vlad, potentially dangerous to humanity. Putin has made some crazy statements. He's talked about dropping nukes. He's talked about using them. He has invaded Ukraine. There's no question about those things. He has done these things. But how sick is he really? And the real question is, I believe he is ill. I think that where there's smoke, there's fire. There's been too many reports, too much going on here. Just how bad he is, I don't know. Is he ill? I believe so. The fact he canceled those events, that's not propaganda. He canceled his State of the Union address. He canceled his annual press conference. He canceled his appearance in the national amateur hockey game. Those things he did do. He was seen twitching. His hands are gripping. His face has been bloated, and there is numerous doctors involved in his care. These are facts. So we obviously know he's sick. How bad, we don't know. But there seems to be a growing concern in Russia, and leaks are coming all over the place out of the Kremlin, that Putin is getting very ill. This means who is next? And some would say, well, we can get rid of Putin, this war will come to an end. I don't time out. Don't think that that's going to happen that quickly, okay? Don't jump on that bandwagon that quickly, because I'm here to tell you right now that it's a very strong possibility that Putin's successor may be even more militant, more communist, more totalitarian, more ruthless. I'm sure he's an ex-KGB, or they'll call him the FBS. I think they call him now the Federation Bureau of Security. I think is what they call it. It's nothing more than just the KGB renamed. This has been his philosophy. This is his theory. This is what he's doing. And so we're living in the times now of the great battles that the Bible talks about, Gog and Magog. The Bible talks about Russia invasion of Israel. It talks about why, because the hook is in Russia's jaw, bringing Meshech and Tubal, moving them forward into this conflict and building a coalition, a confederacy of nations, which certainly includes Persia and Turkey, or Togarma, both of which are mentioned in the Bible. Togarma, which is really Turkey, Persia, which is really Iran, and of course, Libya and Ethiopia and others. So we see these alliances already being formed. It's write out the pages of the Bible. We're on the verge of the Sixth Trumpet War, which I believe is World War III. And the two smaller wars leading up to it could certainly be Psalms 83 and Ezekiel 38. But those may just be the starters. Boom, boom, and then boom. Okay. And they may just go just like that in procession quickly. Boom, boom, boom. That's why I'm telling you, we need to be careful in preparing our souls, our hearts, our minds on our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The Russian people are good people, very good people. My wife is Russian, Russian descent. She's a wonderful person. There's a lot of wonderful Russians. This isn't about picking on Russia. I had just started this whole broadcast by saying that the propaganda, American propaganda against Russia, has always been to paint Russia as the villain and to use that to America's own hidden agendas politically within our own nation. We saw it, folks, in the Russian collusion, confusion, illusion, delusion, the Hillary Clinton, the whole thing, the Mueller report, the Russian hoax, the whole thing. We seen it. We watched it. So we know they do it. But we're in dangerous times now. One way or the other, it's dangerous. It don't matter who poked who first. It's who's going to drop the bigger bomb and who's going to do that one first. We're on the brink of the Sixth Trumpet War. There's a war coming. I can't stop it. You can't stop it, but it's definitely going to happen. Where one third of the world will die. 2.5 billion people. We're on the brink of it. And that would mean this. You might want to pray that you be worthy to escape the hour of temptation that's coming upon the earth. You want to be born again. Persecution on Christians is going to deepen and get worse globally. Persecution against Israel and against all Jewish people will intensify and get worse. You need to understand these are the last days. Give your life to Jesus Christ. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. We're living in the last days. God bless all of you. Oh, I should say this because I almost forgot. Matter of fact, we did a webinar just about a year ago called Armies of the Antichrist. Armies of the Antichrist. It was one of the best webinars we've ever did. It was certainly on this subject of the book of Revelation and the armies of the Antichrist. That the Bible talks about the 200 million man army and all the who's going to attack Israel and all of that. And this webinar, I forgot how many speakers I had. This has 11 DVDs, and I'm saying we had General Jerry Boykin is one of the speakers, Archbishop Antonisha Schneider from the Vatican was one of our speakers. I think Steve Quayle is one of the speakers. I think Doug Hagman was one of the speakers. Mike Around the World. I can't remember them all. There were so many. We had so many. There's 11 DVDs. Get that. Yes, thank you for putting that up there. Guys, get that DVD. If you haven't got that DVD, go to my website and order it today. You need to watch this because, boy, what was predicted, and we did this webinar before Russia invaded Ukraine, and on the DVD, there's two different speakers predicted that this would happen. Mike Around the World was one of them, and General Jerry Boykin was the other, and a lot of us said it was going to happen, but this is incredible information, and it tells you exactly the path that was about to take place. And we did that webinar 3 months before Russia actually invaded Ukraine. So what a great webinar to find out what was being prophesied then that has actually happened. And so you also see what else they said was going to happen. And that brings you right up to the moment. of where we're at right now. It's incredible. God bless you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And you can order the latest webinar we just did, the best one of all times. People say Deep Impact. You can order your copy of that complete webinar. It's a 7 DVD set. It's available at my website also. Just go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. We're also nearing the end of the year. And some of you may say, Pastor Paul, I'd like to make a considerable donation here. It's almost the end of the year. I need to have some tax write-off anyway. I need to do this. God has blessed me, and I just thank God for this ministry where you guys share the truth and where you preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and invite people to be saved and are winning souls to Christ. So if you want to do that, this would be a great time to do that. Today is the 26th of December, so there's only 5 days left. So let's get those end of the year offerings in so you'll be ready because we're in the last days. God bless all of you. I'll see you a little bit later with more on the coming apocalypse.